on the streets of London, just over there, Tommy Robinson's fascists are on the march. They're trying to use a wave of xenophobia, bigotry and anti-Muslim hatred to propel their cause. This march is to counter that protest, to push back, to say that actually it's not migrants and refugees and Muslims responsible for all the problems that afflict our societies, but the injustices caused by the people at the top of society. Now, I want to talk to people on this march, a very diverse demonstration, about why they're here and how we can confront and defeat fascism just like those before us. So why are we marching today?
To point out the fact that Tommy Robinson should not be normalised and accepted.
He's a wrong gun, isn't he?
He's
a wrong gun.
And he's also feeding what could be a really interesting political debate about Brexit, and he's turning it into something that it never ever should have been about. And I think that's what's caused us to sort of stand up.
It's a really dangerous slide, and we're moving down, and it gets more and more difficult as you get further down to scrape your way back up.
So fascism's having a bit of a comeback tour here and across the world. Why? What's going on?
Well, we live in an increasingly unequal world. Inequality is a real issue, poverty, joblessness are a real issue, but it's the oldest trick in the book is to point fingers and say it's those people. It's not the people stealing from your pockets. It's people who look different, who sound different, who come from someplace else, and we have to stand between them and everybody else and say, not today, mate.
I was just in the street, after uni, someone just came over to me, shouted, "Go home, you're not welcome here," kicked me and tried to throw me in front of a bus.
Absolutely disgusting.
It was awful, yeah. But and I'm not the only one, so many people physically felt that kind of presence of racism and violence. And so I'm worried that this kind of continuation, the escalation and what it will do to this country and to people of colour and immigrant communities in the UK.
And on that,
around the world as well.
do you feel that the mainstream media and mainstream politicians have a lot to answer for with their own rhetoric?
Absolutely, because they pander to it. They see it as this kind of populist kind of argument that works for them without thinking of the moral implications and what it does to the people on the street.
White supremacy! White supremacy!
What's the strategy for defeating fascism?
Well, I think that it's about building a coalition of radical, anti-racist, feminists, people that are committed to fighting all forms of oppression. I think it's about, as I said, building a narrative around a viable alternative to fascism and showing people that racism is not the solution to their problems.
Tommy Robinson's followers say they're defending girls and women from so-called rape gangs, grooming gangs. What do you say to that?
Well, what I would say is that misogyny and sexual violence is most rife amongst the far right, and I think they're just trying to harness a moment of chaos in order to mainstream themselves. But our politics have fought them before, and we're going to fight them again.
There's a really pitiful grouping of Tommy Robinson fascist supporters over there. I'm actually embarrassed for them. Hiya, how's it going? You're right. Can we interview you for the camera? Is that okay?
Well, there's no way to turn this table around without resistance. There's no other way.
So why are you marching today? This is an anti-fascist dog. Why is today important?
Today's important for so many reasons. One of the reasons I think is that we are demonstrating in far, far, far bigger numbers that we're right and they're wrong. There's a derisory number of fascists around the corner. I hope they've had a really bad day. They've clearly had a really bad day. It's obviously only the beginning, but it's fantastic that there's so many of us. And it's fantastic to see so many women, so many people of colour. I mean, we cannot have an anti-fascist movement with just a load of blokes.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to work. Sorry, blokes, but it's not. So I'm so excited. I mean, look at us, the women from Momentum. It's brilliant.
This is a day of total humiliation for the fascist cause in Britain. A pathetic, derisory turnout for fascists on the streets. Compared to us, we mobilised over 15,000 people on the streets of this city. That is a sign that there is a fight back taking place, and fascists everywhere, not just in Britain, but all across the world, should look at this day and see it as a lesson.
We are anti-fascist! We are anti-fascist!